everybody has a certain genetic limit for how tall they can become, and you simply cannot go beyond that limit naturally. But here's where things get really interesting. Most of us are nowhere near to our actual genetic limit, which means you still have the opportunity to add a few inches to your height, especially if you're under 20. You guys have a pretty good chance to grow taller. But if you're someone who's over 20, then it might seem like a long shot. It's highly unlikely that you are gonna grow taller again. But hey, don't leave, because what I'm about to share with you is gonna positively change your life regardless of whether it makes you taller or not. And who knows, maybe it might add an extra inch to your height. It has happened to some people before, so there is a sliver of a chance that it can happen to you as well. Okay, let's dive right into it. What is the number one thing that determines your height apart from your genetics? It's hormones. I'm talking about human growth hormones, or HGH, thyroid, IGF, and estrogen. These hormones are responsible for the growth of your body and of course your height. So if you want to grow taller, then you should ensure that these hormones are kept at their optimal levels. By that I mean you want to increase your HGH production, you want to limit your estrogen production, and you want to keep your thyroid balanced. This is what you need to do, and this is exactly how you can do it naturally. The very first thing is sleep. You must get your sleep in check, and we are talking about 8 to 9 hours of good sleep. No compromises in that. The reason is, when we are sleeping, we go through different phases, and one of those phases is deep sleep. That's when your growth hormones are produced the most, and the more these hormones are produced, the taller you can become. But here's an important thing that you must understand. Not all sleep is created equal. It's not only about getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep every day. You must also sleep at the right time. Sleeping at 10 p.m. and sleeping at 2 a.m. are two different things, even if you get 8 hours of sleep. So you want to go to bed at 10 p.m. or maximum 11 p.m. And look, it's absolutely fine to get terrible sleep once a week for the right reasons. But if this becomes a regular thing, then it's gonna negatively affect every single aspect of your life. So do keep that in mind. And also, when you're waking up, try to do it without using an alarm. Look, you will automatically wake up once your body gets enough rest. But if you use an alarm to wake up, then there's a high chance that you will break the natural cycles of your sleep. And so you will wake up feeling like shit. So experiment without using an alarm. If you're worried about sleeping in too late, adjust your bedtime. Go to bed early. Or you can experiment this during the weekends when you don't have any place to be in the morning. The next thing to talk about is nutrition and your diet, because there are certain foods which will help you become taller. In a general sense, your diet should be rich in vitamins and minerals, especially zinc and vitamin D, which are essential for growth. For vitamin D, sunlight is the best source, so go outside and get some sun. If there is very little sunlight for whatever reasons, then take vitamin D supplements. When it comes to zinc, red meat and shellfish are great options. But if you're vegan, then you can try pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, cashews, and sesame seeds. I think oatmeal also contains some amount of zinc, so yeah, you can try that as well. Apart from vitamin D and zinc, protein is another essential nutrient. So incorporate foods like chicken, grass-fed beef, eggs, and nuts into your diet. In saying that, don't forget about your carbs and fats. They are also important for your growth. And of course, it goes without saying, try your best to avoid eating sugary foods, processed foods, and essentially junk food as much as you can. But once again, it is okay to splurge once in a while. Like, you don't have to deprive yourself of burgers and ice creams and all those things that you enjoy eating. You can and you should eat it, but not every day. Let's now talk about physical activity. It could be a sport, it could be swimming, it could be running, or whatever breaks a good amount of sweat. The only thing that I wouldn't recommend if you are a teenager is going to the gym. The reason is, if you're doing exercises like squats or deadlifts or the overhead press, these exercises will compress your spine. And if your spine gets too compressed, it will affect your height. But in saying that, there are certain things that you can do, such as hanging every day to decompress your spine. And also, be wary about the amount of weight that you lift in the gym. Please don't do too much. So if you can be careful about this, then you can go to the gym. But my recommendation is to start off with body weight exercises. Doing this will not only make you super strong and lean, but it will make you athletic as well. So if that's the kind of thing that you're going for, then body weight exercises is your best bet. And I am planning on making a guide on how you can get started with that. So do stay tuned. Okay, so these tips will help you grow if you are under 20 years old. For those of you who are above 20, it might make a difference, but it's unlikely. In saying that, there is something that everybody can do to add an extra inch or two to their height, and that is correcting your posture. Most of us have terrible posture because of our modern sedentary lifestyle. So if you can correct your posture through stretches and exercises, then you will naturally stand taller. Okay, so with all that being said, I have to emphasize this once again. Your height is largely determined by your genetics. And yes, some of us are naturally short, and there is nothing you can do about it unless you do some kind of surgery. But is it really worth all that? So what if people call you short? Does it really matter? Shouldn't you focus on improving the things that are within your control? Because there's so much you can improve in terms of your appearance and your life as a whole. So shouldn't you focus on that? For example, one simple thing that you can do is focus on how you smell. It might be a small aspect of your life, but smelling good can make a huge difference. So I want you to watch this video next because it will give you practical tips that you can implement to always smell your best. Thanks a lot for watching.